Բարև սիրելի հեշտադող բարեկամներ, անգամ եւս կողջուն եմ ցեզ AMGA հերոստանգերության հիմնական հաղորդաշարով։ Այս հաղորդումը դարձյալ պիտի անգլերենով ունենք, որովհետեւ անկեղծ ասած սիրելի հայրենագիտներ, կարևորը այն է, որ մենք կարողանանք բացատրենք, թե մենք ովքեր ենք։ Որովհետեւ որքան էլ որ մենք հայերս կարծենք, թե մենք կճանաչենք մեր պատմությունը, մեր անցյալը, մեր ներկան, մեր ապական, բայց եւ այնպես կարևոր է, որ նաեւ մեր անցյալը, ներկան եւ ապական ներկայացնենք ոչ հայերին, հայկական շրջապատից դուրս գալով։ Ուրեմն անցյալ անգամ մեր ծրագիրը եղավ ով ենք մենք։ Արդյոք մենք գիտենք ով ենք մենք եւ շատ շնորհակալ եմ որ լավ արձագանք ստացանք եւ հավասիկ առաջին բանը քարտեզն է եւ գուզեմ որ այս քարտեզը մնա So անգլերենով պիտի ասեմ good evening dear viewers, today's episode of AMGA Himnakar program is a continuation from the previous one, which it says, Who Are We? Part 2. So last time we were talking about this magnificent 17th century map called the Tabula Cornographica Armena, which can be found in the library of Bologna University in Italy. This map was commissioned by the Duke Luigi Fernando Marsili in 1691 in Constantinople, which Duke Marsili was a scientist and cartographer as well as an Italian diplomat and a military man. Today we are continuing Who Are We topic in part 2, and this time we are going to exploring Artsakh in the world map. Artsakh, also known as Qarabağ. Before we start the topic, I would like to give you a general introduction about the Artsakh. So, let's go to this map now, please. Thank you. So the Caucasus region is characterized by the far-reaching mountain ranges that have long separated people and created distinct ethnic, linguistic, and religious identities over thousands of years. Today, the region spans over 3 main countries that you see now here. It's Armenia, Georgia, and Azerbaijan, and it's bordered by the Russia in north, Turkey in west, and the Iran in southeast. Focusing on the main 3, here's are the look of some basic demographic that I prepared today. Azerbaijan's population is 10.4 million, Armenia population is 3 million, Georgia population is 4.1 million. Home to around 20 million, the Caucasus region touches the Caspian Sea, the Eastern and the Black Sea on the west. It is an area distinct situated between Europe, Asia, and Middle East. Azerbaijan is the biggest country in this region, both in terms of land and population. The Nagorno-Karabakh that you see here in the southeast part is the region located within the official borders of Azerbaijan and is inhabited entirely by ethnic Armenians. The majority of the Azeris are Muslims. However, the country is considered one of the most secular Muslim countries in the whole world. Azerbaijani or Azeri is the most widely spoken language within more than 92% of people speaking it. Whereas in Armenia, you see that here in southwest where the capital is Yerevan. Like both its neighbors, Armenia gained independence at the fall of Soviet Union in 1991. Unlike its neighbors, however, it is entirely landlocked. The country is majority Christian with an ethnic makeup of nearly 98% of Armenians, the most widely spoken language being Armenian. According to the government, the population count has fallen since the collapse of the Soviet Union and has been relatively flat in the more recent years. Here in this very first map that I tried to put it together about Nagorno-Karabakh, and I like to address it to the conflict of Nagorno-Karabakh. So I'm going to go back in history and with maps and different people who mentioned Nagorno-Karabakh or Artsakh, which it explains to you all, including me and everybody who is listening here. So today's Republic of Artsakh, which is also known as Karabakh, claimed territory. So you see here Armenia with the capital of Yerevan. Then you see next to it, very next to it is Turkey. Southeast and west, it's Iran or Iran. And in east, it's Azerbaijan and with the capital of Baku. So this is actually the real map that we had until September 27, 2020. So some people were I'm gonna go ahead and just please leave this map on because I have to come back and explain things. So the tension over the Nagorno-Karabakh region began in late 1980s and escalated into a full-scale war into the 1990s. In the early years of the conflict, approximately 30,000 people died. Since then, ceasefires and violence have arisen intermittently, with the most recent end to the fighting in 2020. The conflict first began when newly independent Armenia demanded the region back from Azerbaijan, which was still the Soviet state at the time, as the population there was, and still is today, only Armenian. Although not internationally recognized, a breakaway group has declared part of Nagorno-Karabakh, also known as Artsakh, as an independent state called the Republic of Artsakh. Here are a very brief timeline. From 1988 to 1994, the first Nagorno-Karabakh war started because the Azeris, when they found out the Armenians are trying to kind of get independent and declare themselves an independent country, so they started in February 1988 in Baku, where you see that here in a star next to the Azerbaijan writing. This is the capital of Azerbaijan. And south of that Baku is Sumgait, another Armenian-based city. In those two cities, there were massacred, genocided Armenians and sent, either killed or sent into the Armenia, into the west. So therefore, in 1988 to 1994, first Nagorno-Karabakh war started. And in 1996, there was a ceasefire signed, a truce between Nagorno-Karabakh at that time, and then later it was Artsakh Republic and Azerbaijan. So September through November 2020, war was regained until Russia negotiated a ceasefire. Also in September 2022, new clashes erupted, resulting in hundreds of deaths. And until now, this is going. So please, the next map that you see now, here, the blue, it is Azeris land. The green is the Armenia. In the between, you see a partial pink, which this used to be. Here you can see approximate territorial control. Green is Armenia controlled, and vague pink is Artsakh controlled, Republic of Artsakh controlled. And the real peak where it says Jibrail, Hatrut, and Fizuli, this is the territories that Azeris started the war back in September 27, 2020. So I have to go back and explain that what's going on. But here what it is. The September to November 2020, war was regained, and until Russia negotiated a ceasefire, and right after that, until today, the conflict is going on. So now you're telling me who belongs this territory to. The conflict has been bled out into the region. Russia is one of the Armenia's side, and they think that is helping Armenia. But Turkey, Syrian insurgents, the ISIS, Israel, because of their own personal interest to Iran, and also all the way from Pakistan, because as I said, Azerbaijan is one of the secular Muslim country in the entire world. Therefore, Pakistan is helping Azerbaijan to overcome and take over the entire region that it called Azerbaijan. Okay, so the name Artsakh, in February 2017, the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh, actually, Karabakh is Tatarian. It's not Azeri. It's Tatarian, and it means a black forest. Gara is black, and forest is Bagh. So Nagorno or Nagorny Karabakh. Nagorny is the northern part of the part of the Karabakh. So in February 2017, the Republic of Nagorno-Karabakh, they were trying to be independent from Azerbaijan. They became the Republic of Artsakh. They renamed themselves the way that they remained in during the World War II. In Europe, we call that some countries, they combined together. Czechoslovakia, okay? Czech Republic and Slovak Republic came together right after the World War II, and they created this country, Czechoslovakia. So in 1996, Czech Republic announced themselves, renamed themselves as Republic of Czech. So of course the United Nations accepted that. But in this case, Republic of Artsakh, the name switch was part of the new constitution approved in February 20, 2017 in referendum, but sadly the United Nations did not approve this. According to the breakaway government's official figures, the referendum actually passed by 88% of the population of Nagorno-Karabakh, which they renamed themselves since 2017 Artsakh. What is Nagorno-Karabakh? The status of the so-called Republic of Artsakh is a matter of hot dispute. According to the United Nations and all its member countries, Nagorno-Karabakh was never officially a country at all. The region is claimed by Azerbaijan and labeled a disputed territory by the international community, but it declared independence during the breakout of the Soviet Union and has been ruled separately from Azerbaijan since early 1990. In terms of military defense and day-to-day administration, Artsakh is heavily integrated with neighboring Armenia, but the region's government officially considers itself an independent country, and Armenia maintains a formal separation, neither recognized by Artsakh's independence nor making it officially part of Armenia. The only formal recognition of Artsakh's independence comes from three other unrecognized, self-proclaimed countries, such as one, Abkhazia, part of Georgia, South Ossetia, also part of Georgia, and Transnistria, which is today part of Ukraine. That part of Transnistria wants to be free from Ukraine and back to Russia. So Nagorno-Karabakh, the name Republic of Artsakh, didn't come out of the nowhere. In fact, it was already an official alternate name for the claimed country. The new constitution basically just switched the two names to place Artsakh. Is Artsakh probably easier to remember and easier to pronounce for most people, but change is also related to the history of the two names, which is the Nagorno-Karabakh, as I said, is actually a Russian name of the region from when it was part of the Soviet Union back in days in 1923. The territory now being disputed is highland area of the historic Karabakh region, which is, we call it in Armenian, Artsakh. In other words, Nagorno-Karabakh, Artsakh, as I explained to you, Nagorny or Nagorno, Nagorny actually in Russian means upper, and Karabakh in Tatarian language, and Turkic Tatarian language means Gara is black and Bagh is forest. So upper black forest. It has nothing to do with the black forest in Europe, please, where the river Danube is gone. So let's go to the very first world map. And what I did in this segment of AMGA Himnakar show, I tried to put world, non-Armenian, world-known maps that where specifically Artsakh is mentioned and also Nagorno-Karabakh or just Karabakh is mentioned. Okay, I will try a balanced, unbiased, historic and cartographic view to you who are interested in enhancing your knowledge of how and when the historic Armenian populated region of Karabakh, today Artsakh, was described by various world-famous geographers and famed cartographers. For this reason, maps reproduced in the that I am going to show you here. Okay, so here in this picture, the second one, please, we see a copy of from the 9th century AD in an Armenian manuscript where clearly shows the name Artsakh. The next one, please, when you see us. Okay, here we see. This is an old Armenian or classic Armenian, or in Armenian we call it krapar. On the very side, you can see Artsakh Sunyats Kavaragin I Zoran Arvanits Unimk. So what it's saying here in the old classic Armenian, that the land that it was between the river of Arax and Guri or Gur, it's the land called Artsakh. And this manuscript, ladies and gentlemen, it's from the Armenian old manuscript from, I will go ahead and date it by very early, the 5th century AD. So the oldest cartography or geographic information has researched us from the Greco-Roman sources. Since the population of the region and Karabakh was mainly Armenian, the region was named Armenia. On the many maps, the same name, Armenia, also appeared over and over the region of Karabakh or Artsakh. One of the founding fathers of cartography was Claudius Ptolemy, or also known as Ptolemy, which it was from 90 to 160 BC, whose opus magnum, the main work, Geographia, is considered to be the most significant work on geography and cartography. In this book, that 176 names are related to Armenia. So we didn't pay with our oil money to this guy whose name is Ptolemy, who was just a cartographer and a geography specialist in Greece, okay? And he mentioned 176 times the word Armenia. Sadly, no map was survived on this oldest manuscript, and the only thing that we have from him is his book. Okay, the second one here, the name of the region of Karabakh, the Armenian Artsakh, did not feature in early maps, as it was considered to be part of a country of Armenia and the Armenian population of region. The name Karabakh appears in maps earlier than 16th century. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you in single maps what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's go to the figure 1, okay, that we just had one here, the map from the manuscript of Ashkharahayot's Ananya Shiragatsi. No, the second one, please. The next one. Okay. Here, this map was printed in Venice in 1751. 1751 in Venice by the Armenian Mekhitarist fathers who had their printing in there. So a paragraph related to Artsakh, underlined here in red, from the manuscript copy of the Ashkharahayot's, and this manuscript belonged to the 5th to the 6th century Ananya Shiragatsi. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Armenia does not have oil. We don't have gold. We don't have silver. We don't have diamonds like other countries do. Therefore, neither the Eastern nor the Western countries in the world today, in the United Nations, consider us as a country, the Artsakh or Nagorno-Karabakh, because we don't have anything to give to them. Whereas the dictator Aliyev is giving them, selling them today oil, gas to the Europeans. Not mention those elected officials in the European Union are bribed. That means they were getting money under the table. Okay? So, let's go to the the second figure, which is the figure 6. Okay, here it shows the region of Armenia in Fra Mauro work in 1459. 1459. I'm talking about the 15th century, ladies and gentlemen. Those who like to learn the real history. Here you see, do you see anywhere it says Azerbaijan? Does it say Turkey? No, ladies and gentlemen. Here you only can see that the word Armenia, and sometimes the word Armenia, of course, it was related to the word Artsakh, because Armenians were living in Artsakh. Here, detailed from the Fra Mauros Mappa Mundi, 1460, printed, colorful, in Venice. It's showing, ladies and gentlemen, only the word Armenia. It's only wording the Noah's Ark, Ararat, but there is no Azerbaijan there, and there is no Turkey there, and there is no Tatar there. Okay, let's go on. So Gerardus Mercator, which is the 1512 to 1594, was one of the most important Flemish cartographer of the time, and his projection for the showing the spherical earth on a flat sheet of paper are widely used even today. His Atlas of the World was published by his own son because he died. He could not see his work, and his son Romuald and continued many detailed maps of Europe and Asia Minor and Armenia. You can see here, ladies and gentlemen, here you can see very, very fine. Can you see, please, the word Turkey or Azerbaijan here? But you can see Van, which is one of our Vaspuragan, which is one of the famous, and then you see here at underlined in Greek, in green line, it says Harappa. Here we can see in the 16th century, the first word, it says Harappa. Okay, then adjoining the territory to the east inside the Persia include the province of Azerbaijan or Azerbaijan. Please, let's see the next one here. Ladies and gentlemen, and to those who are Armenians from Iran, I will welcome you to look on that. And you see down there, it says Harappa. Down to the Harappa, you're going to see Kurdistan, and then Arak. This is the same Arak, or what we call it Kazas. Many people, many Armenians from Iran now these days that they live here in Southern California, and they are from Arak. Arak, also known as Sultanabad or Kazas. And many Armenians, they call themselves Kazassi. And this is the people here. Here on this map, it says Arak, which is the Sultanabad. I just wanted you guys to know what am I talking to. Can you please just go ahead and change the map, please? The second map that I would love to show you, it's going to be, again, here you see specifically Harappa. There is no word of Azerbaijan. There is no word of anything else but Karabakh. And this is also from 1676. Can you just go ahead and show the next one, please? Here also, Gharapagh, next to the Caspian Sea. On the northern part of Iran, where it is underlined in red, you can very nicely see, and this figure actually is from Pierre Amandé Joubert. It's a French one, French cartographer and geographist who lived in 1779 to 1847, who began his travel through Turkey and Armenia and all the way forwarded to Persia in 1805. He writes about his experience and includes a map of his travel route, and this map was drawn well-known French cartographer Pierre Lapie. Pierre Lapie was one of the famous French cartographer, and in 1777 he drew this map, and here clearly it says, underlined in red, Gharapagh. Well, let's go to the next one, please. Okay, here the same thing is happening, where you see clearly on your right side, it says Persia or Bashkortostan in Armenian, and the Caspian Sea, where in the Black Sea you can see but the underlined in red, this is where you can see. There was a war between the Persian and the Russian Empire, and here in 1858, the Isthmus of Caucasus and Armenia well shows Azerbaijan as a province of Persia down there, has nothing to do with Azerbaijan, the country, which in Armenian we call it Azerbaijan. So let's go to the next map, please. Okay, here the same thing. When it says there, you can see Van, you can see the Armenia Major in Asia Minor, and you see the Black Sea, you see the Caspian Sea. I just underlined the Gharapagh, and right there you can see again Kurdistan and Iraq, which is the Sultanabad. Can we go to the next one, please? Yes. So here we go back today's map. Ladies and gentlemen, where do I start by saying? The final map here, you can see that today's date, where the green is Armenia, the Armenian government, the blue is the Azerbaijanis, who have a lot of oil, a lot of gas. Can you imagine daily basis from Baku all the way to Turkey over the line that they built it, daily basis 100 million barrels of gas are pumped from Baku to Turkey. So we know, and the whole world knows, the dictator of Azerbaijan, Aliyev, who inherited the country from his own father, and Erdogan, the dictator of Turkey. Europeans know that, Americans know that, Russians know that, the whole entire world know what's going on in this region, but no one cares. You know why? Because they like to have their own gain, the oil, the gas that now the whole world needs it. in this case, I have to honestly come up with, I'm trying to summarize today's program. I think you received the whole idea what's going on. From the analysis of the above maps that I showed to you, in this region since 1460, from the 15th century, where Turks at that time were in the Central Asia riding camels. They didn't exist until they came with the Tatars and Seljuk and stayed in the Asia Minor, where today is Turkey now. They took over from the Greek, the Byzantine Empire, and at the same time, they start creating the Ottoman Empire, who grew in the 15th century, 16th century, 17th century, went all the way to Vienna in 1683. They besieged Vienna for the second time, and the besieger was the Grand Vizier, who promised the Sultan that he is going to invade Austria, he is going to invade Vienna, and he is going to put the sign of Islam, which is the half moon with a star in it, on the top of the Cathedral of St. Stephen. And thank God, the European Christian countries, including the Polish king, who came up with his volunteer soldiers, including 5,000 Armenians who volunteered to come and help Vienna to besiege from the Turks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we Armenians, we helped the Europeans to get rid of the infidel Turks from their country. Whereas today, 2 years ago, in September 27, 2020, no one helped us. Okay? No one helped us. 1683, we came all the way from Poland to Vienna to help the Christian countries. And the same Christian countries did not help us when we need them. And this is a Christianity that we are. So when we are talking about survivance, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we Armenians are proud. We're few, as William Sarian is saying, we're few, but we're proud. And wherever two Armenians meet together, even in a restaurant, in a bar, sitting next to each other, drinking beer, and we will create a new Armenian. So please, this is messages for the entire world, including Westerns, including Russians, including China's, including Iran, including everybody. We are here for centuries, and we're going to be here for other centuries. So don't think that you can go ahead and annihilate us the way the Ottoman Empire in 1915, they thought they could annihilate us, genocide, and keep one Armenian in the museum. No, ladies and gentlemen, the way our great poet said, մենք կանք պիտի լինենք ու թեր շատանանք. Yes, we were, We are and we're gonna be, no matter you like it or not. So, thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this was an educational program for you, non-Armenians or those Armenians that only spoke or understood English. I tried to bring it together as much as I could to make sure historically to prove it to you and to the entire world that Armenia and Artsakh is and belongs to us, no matter the United Nations in New York or Geneva or Vienna says. No matter you will believe or not, we know that we were, we are, and we shall be. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next week.